the four of you find yourself running through deep snow. You are near to the town of Highmoon in Deepingdale. Snow is buffeting your face, and all you can see by is the torchlight of those who carry torches. The whiteout of the snow is enough to make vision very difficult here. What would you be... give me a very brief rundown of what you guys would look like in this scenario. In such inclement weather. Let's start with Chaucer.
Well, I follow up to question before your question.
Yep.
So we have ventured into a cold season?
Yes,
Okay.
you are, this is you know that it was snowing before you got here, so, you were prepared.
Oh, we are prepared. Well, Chaucier, being already kind of fluffy, he would actually probably be wearing his standard, like black dress coat with gold trim. Not much of a change for him.
Okay, and just for those new to it, what is he?
Chaucier is a Tabaxi Rogue Ranger.
Very nice.
The
Very nice.
guide to the party.
Let's circle on round to Rodri then.
So Rodri is struggling a little with the conditions. Okay, I was just double checking, making sure that I wasn't wearing illegal armor. I'm not. So that's good. So definitely struggling though. Not entirely unused to bad weather, but unused to bad weather in heavy armor. Well, not actually heavy armor, but it feels heavy. So he's got he does have a torch out, though he doesn't need it. It's more for comfort. And pushing through, so he's in half plate. And his face is all wrapped up. Just his eyes are visible at the moment, basically, like, you know, just like across the eyes and the bridge of his nose. He's a half elf. Not that you can see his ears right now, but he does have some pointy ears in there. And yeah, just sort of like pushing through as best he can. That's about it, really.
Alrighty. Brian. What does Brian look like in this moment?
He is totally comfortable in this weather coming from the north. So he just is kind of following behind Chaucier and has a bit of a, you know, confused expression.
Just in general.
Just in general. Also not sure what just went wrong back there that now we're running.
And what is he?
A human bard.
Nice. And let's circle around finally to Isabel.
Isabel is she is an elf warlock. She, whilst I'm taking a little bit of liberty, I am assuming that she would...
You're going to have to take some liberties.
Yeah. In this circumstance, she is cuddled awfully close to Chaucier. He is extremely warm and comforting, and just she sees him in a light that she's never seen before. Now that we've returned to reality, in his mind, that's what he saw.
Yeah.
But she is focused. Well, depending on their situation, she is moving forward with I would say probably a stern expression upon her face, garbed in her traditional low-cut red, rather sultry outfit, but adorning a large fur cloak. Just a quick means of donning and doffing warmth protection, hooded as needed should the storm intensify.
Alrighty. Nice. So yes, you push on down the road out of the town. Time is 1:15 till midnight. The snow is stinging your eyes. You're following the path as best you can. Who would be leading the way?
There can only be one. The chasseur.
Roll me a survival check then to see if you are making decent progress in the
Are you
direction that you're
sure?
hoping to be traveling.
Survival or perception?
You could do perception if you like.
Oh, he is
Can you do
benevolent.
You're like, I'm gonna throw it out there and just see if it sticks.
For whatever reason, the ranger does not have good survival. And 11. Wait. That explains it. Never mind. Hold on.
Oh,
So you got +4 on the roll. What did you? Or yeah, no, yeah, +4 on the roll.
no, that's Isabel.
Oh yeah, so you don't have +4. You have
Sorry.
+7 plus something.
Never mind. So, +8.
Okay,
15.
that is just as well. Just as well. Isabel's not leading the way.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, you feel you feel fairly confident that you are headed in the right direction, as pointed out to you, and you lead the group. Torches lit, even for those that don't need it. In this kind of weather, it is just helpful to have out, at least at the minute. And you pound down the snowy road. It's getting harder to tell what is road and what is verge, but Chausseur just has a natural sense of such things. And in a few minutes of this run, the road peels off to the right and into a small gorge, as you expected, so this feels good. And that leads to your destination, you hope. The snow is thick on the ground here, making the run even more difficult. And the ground is a lot less even beneath your feet. Let's have everybody roll an athletics or acrobatics check.
Ooh.
To see how well you navigate this.
Oh, may I guide myself?
No.
Right. Fair.
Okay, so I'm gonna say why.
Yep.
Guidance is one of those weird spells, right? And
Yep.
I like it for things that you know you're about to do.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is sort of a general thing, so I don't think you'd have. But yeah, if you're about to do a task or something, I'm totally down for.
No,
guidance.
that's fine. Just way to take away player agency. That's cool.
Yeah. Unless, as a rule, Rodri is every 6 seconds just always casting guidance anyway. In which case, I mean, fair enough.
No, I mean I've had characters that might logically do that, but he's not one of them.
Okay, cool.
He likes relying on himself.
Chasseur has a 14, and Isabella had an 18. Acrobatics
Okay.
18. Sorry.
Very nice. Oh, Brian with a huge.
I have a 24.
He's got a
And,
huge.
Chasseur is quite
acrobatics.
impressed.
A huge acrobatics.
Oh, that's good.
Rodri, you might have already said yours.
Oh no, I didn't. I got 14 athletic.
Nice. You all under the torchlight make pretty good headway, and you feel like you may be getting close to your destination, hopefully just in time. Thwack! Bolt thuds into the ground at your feet. You look up to the sides of the gorge, trying to see where it came from. Thump, thump. 2 more come in. One towards, let's see. One towards Chausseur, which is going to be a... Oh, wrong page. 18 to hit.
Hits.
And that is going to be... 4 piercing damage as a crossbow bolt thuds into your shoulder before you can react. And a third shot comes down at Brian for another 18 to hit.
Hit.
How does... Okay.
Sorry, it takes a second when I go between the two screens, like pulling up my.
You're okay. You're okay. It was just
Dramatic effect.
long
It's
silence.
fine.
Oh, a critical damage. So that's going to be 8 piercing damage to Brian.
Ouch.
The
Yeah.
bolt catches him completely unawares. I assume Brian doesn't have any kind of dark vision,
No.
so he sort of struggles. But yeah, as you look up, you feel like you can see figures above you, sort of ambushing you from the gorge, or from the rocky walls of this little valley here.
Well, that's rude.
You know that time is of the essence, so you must press on. So time doesn't allow for a drawn-out fight here. If you wish, though, you could try and throw a little bit of aggression back their way. It's up to you.
How many
Or you can just sort of press on and try and outrun them.
How many are there?
You've seen 3. You see 3 figures up there. It's honestly difficult to tell.
And about
So
how
sort
far
of-
away?
They're above you, so they're sort of spaced out differently along the gorge. So you've got one that is about 20 feet above you, kind of right close above, and then there's one that's sort of 30 feet because they're a little ways back, and then there's another on the other side that's probably about 30 feet again.
Were we expecting company
You weren't sure.
in our previous, like in the lead up to this?
You honestly were not too sure, but it's not a complete surprise.
Okay, so we're surprised, but not completely.
Yes, you're sort of piecing this together as you go, but you know that you're heading into a potentially dangerous situation.
Um,
And
You also know that time is ticking down, so it's up to you how you respond.
I hate to ask. Time is. I know, that we know time is ticking down. Do we know why?
Yes.
Why?
Because you need to get somewhere by midnight.
Oh, that's close.
Yeah.
Are the 3 that I can see, are they all within 30 feet of at least one of the others?
No. You could get
Two
two
are.
of them. With,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna upcast command to 2nd level.
Okay.
I'm just gonna look up at them, grab onto my just to hold onto my shield, which has the symbol of Ogma, and I'm going to say disarm.
Ooh. And what do they need to do?
They need to please roll for me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom? Okay.
DC is 15.
First one, failure. Second one, bigger failure. You push the spell out into the snow, seeing these 2 figures to one side, and they register what you say, and you hear the soft thud of two crossbows hitting the snow, and they pause there,
Did they throw him over the gorge?
confused. Interesting. Let's see if they fall all the way down.
That was my hope, but you can't be picky when you've only got one word.
Wow.
Say it, lob.
Okay, I percentile diced it to see. Both of the crossbows clatter down the gorge. So it drops into the snow, and then because there is hard rock underneath, you see them clatter down, and they look at each other, but equally surprised at each other, but at the same time, there is whilst there is an accusation in their eyes, it's hard to hold that when they're doing the exact same thing. And there is a confused stare between them. Does anybody else have anything they want to do in this moment?
I would cast Blade Ward on myself.
Okay.
That is a good timing, Brian.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you cast Blade Ward, and Chaucer and Isabel could do something if they wished.
It would only be customary to return fire. And Chaucer he pulls his little short bow out from under his coat, real compact design, and looses. We're level 5. I can lose 2 arrows then, right? No, I can't. All right.
Because you're a split.
Yes.
Some could.
Yes. Short bow. Here we go. At the closest one, a 17. Short range is 80. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 17 at short range.
I gave them an increased
Armor save for the cover.
AC because of the cover, but you still beat it.
Okay. And that would be a 9 piercing damage.
Very nice.
And the target was injured.
Yep.
Which allows Chaucer's hunter's prey to add an additional D8.
Ooh.
So followed up with 6 more damage.
Ah. So yeah, your tenacity can wear down the most potent. As you fire the shot up, you see the confusion in their face, and as they look to each other, Chaucer just turns around. You fire a short bow.
Yes.
Are you shooting at the ones who disarmed or the other one?
No, which one?
The two on the side. He said the closest one, and one of those was the one that you disarmed.
Okay. No problem.
The third one on the other side of the gorge is by themselves and 30 feet away.
Yep.
But yeah, you loose it into them, and as they're looking around at their friend, it goes right through their throat, and they actually fall backwards out of sight, causing the one that was looking at him to hunker down again a little bit more, realizing that you are more potent than they realized.
We should keep running, right?
And then
Absolutely.
after that,
Isabel could do one thing if she wants.
yeah, she makes a comment towards Chaucer. She's like, "Try hitting the ones with the weapons," and she takes a witch bolt, or not witch bolt, Eldritch. I think Eldritch Blast at the armed
Okay.
one.
Nice.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. And that would be 12 on the first one,
It shoots off into the snowy sky.
and the second crackling bolt, 11.
It follows the exact same path. He's just able to duck down the figure behind the rock there for a moment while he tries to reload his small crossbow. And
How big a deviation would it be to go pick up those crossbows that fell?
Let's see. One of them would not be a deviation at all. One of them fell right down towards you.
Right. In that case, I'm gonna deviate
Alrighty.
to
And
pick
just
up.
scoop that up.
Yep.
Okay, so you pick up the other one you'd actually have to go back.
No interest.
But yeah, that's a light crossbow that you grabbed there. I mean, sorry, not a light crossbow, a hand crossbow.
Right.
And you scoop that up. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any bolts in it right now, but
That's
you do
fine.
have the crossbow itself.
Yeah, that could be useful at some point.
All right. And
sorry, I'm looking at one thing. Okay, never mind. All right, we're good.
okay.
I'll just making sure on what spells Isabella has.
I got you. So your group presses on forward, and you feel like they are fading into the distance a little bit. One more shot fires out from a long way away, so I'm gonna give myself a disadvantage here. As you finally gain the distance. Oh, I need to decide who it's at as well. It's at Rodri. Rodri, does a 17 hit? That's pretty good for disadvantage.
It does not. I'm at 18 with the shield up.
Woo!
Nice. So your shield may be actually tucked on your back at the moment for ease of running. It actually pings off the shield.
That's alarming.
But you, even those of you with good vision, see them begin to fade into the distance as you press on through the gorge.
As they're running, Isabella creates a minor illusion of just a figure, kind of like, standing like behind a tree.
Uh-huh.
Just a figure like in the snow. She figures that it would be possibly like identified as just a target, just to create a sense of something there as they're following.
Yeah. Yeah, as you take one glance back, you see a bolt sort of ping down not too far from it. Looks like it has distracted them for a moment.
Nice.
But yes, you press on into the darkness, knowing that time's of the essence. And as you do, the edge of the clearing comes into view. Steep rocky gorge giving way to a ruined wall, which now gives you open access to the grounds of the old temple. It sits within a natural stone formation that is walled in on all sides by jagged quartz rocks, which are mostly blanketed in the snow now, but you see the greys and blacks peeking out from beneath. As you break into the temple grounds, you pause and take in these surroundings. To your left is an imposing structure, square and lined on each side by pillars. The Gothic architecture is just visible beneath the layers of white, and there are numerous steps that lead up to its closed doors. To your right, there are various other smaller buildings in a similar style, hard to tell what their function is from this distance. As you break into the clearing, all seems quiet in this moment. The patter of the snow against your armor and the whistling of the wind is the only real noticeable sound. You see no movement in any direction. And looking forwards, the clearing fades into the darkness and the flurries that will not let up. And it gives you pause to think back on earlier in the evening and where your investigation led you to a small house behind the Rising Moon Inn. When you took on this investigation, you headed to the house looking for evidence of what was going on. Now, each of you had a task, and you can decide what your task was. One of you kept a watch for trouble just inside the front door. Another one of you searched the desk in the study and the papers that it contained. another one of you tried to make sense of the scrawlings and messages on the walls, and the final one investigated the body that lay in the kitchen. You can decide between you who did what. So you've got somebody who was keeping watch, somebody investigating a body, somebody searching a desk and papers, and somebody trying to understand the scrawlings and notes across the walls.
I feel like scrawlings would be Isabella, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else disagree?
It depends on the language.
A quick observation of the language that was on the scrawlings on the wall.
Yeah, I'll give you what languages do each of you understand?
Isabella knows. Isabella can't even speak common, apparently.
I'd like to trade in for a new partner.
Brian just speaks Luskan outside of common.
Ooh.
Luskan.
Luskan.
Rodri speaks Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, Gnomish, Halfling, Infernal, and Primordial.
Is that all?
Yes.
He's well versed.
He's a bit of a nerd.
We call
Just
him
a
Rosetta
teensy bit.
Stone.
So appropriate for a dwarf.
He's not a dwarf. He's half elf.
He looks like it according to picture. Well, I guess he looks like a gnome, really.
He's half elf.
Brian's never been good at judging people.
Yeah, Brian is not good at any of these abilities, but
Brian's like,
you
"You're
know,
tall for
he'll
a
be
dwarf."
eager. He'll be
He's
eager
6'4".
to do one of them.
You don't have much of a beard like a dwarf. Are you sure you're a dwarf?
Are you sure you're a dwarf?
Towers over Brian.
Man, I can't even find. Apparently, Chaucer can't even speak common.
Well, no, it says Chaucer can do common, thieves can't, gnomish, and sorry, I accidentally put it into the chat, and abyssal.
Okay, I didn't know that. I just found. I'm sorry. I'm learning to redrive.
Learning to read.
That too. Language. Okay, so infernal and abyssal for Isabella, elven, and common as well.
Okay, so it seems like this is most easily identified by Rodri. It seems to be a mix of Elvish and a language that you don't entirely know. There's a and then a little bit of common mixed in. So you get the sense that that's probably also the case with the stuff on the desk. You're the only one that speaks Elvish, right?
Isabella does.
Oh, Isabel does?
Or sorry, I always call her Isabella. Isabel does, yes. Elven.
Okay. So yeah, the two of you both kind of understand some of the language on the desk and the walls. So you could, if you wished, you could split them between you if you want to have the best chance of making the most sense of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that logics.
Yeah.
Who wants to take what? Is Isabel taking the wall then, and Rodri taking the desk?
Sure, it works. And I'll cast Enhance Ability on Isabel
Okay.
and give her Fox Cunning,
Ooh.
which is advantage on intelligence.
Nice.
And hope that's
So we've got a body in the kitchen and somebody keeping an eye on the front door. For any
I will
kind of,
keep an eye on the front door.
Okay. Chaucer, body in the kitchen?
Are you sure, Brian?
Yes.
Well, this is yours, then. And he will go to The body in the kitchen.
Okay.
You have seen better days.
Let's
Oh.
start with Brian. Roll me a perception check.
His version of, just so you know, his version of keeping watch would also include him just kind of like pulling out his loot and just tinkering with it gently while he's supposedly keeping watch.
Okay.
Perception. Did it go through? There it goes. Okay.
I'm on a different screen, so I can't see it, by the way.
Oh, 17.
Okay. um, nice. That is good. I'm going back now to check you guys aren't saying stuff. Okay, there we go. So, as you're standing by the door and absent-mindedly strumming your lute, you hear the others rummaging around in the other rooms. They seem busy with their task. You catch sight of a figure that seems to be running from behind the house. They are relatively small and lean and cloaked in dark cloth, which stands out in the snow that pelts down. Do you wish to try and intercept them before they disappear? Or let them go?
Yeah, he would, if he noticed that, he would, just quickly, flip his loot back on around his back, and then, just say, I think somebody's out here, guys. And then he would start to follow.
Okay, roll me an athletics or an acrobatics to try and tackle them before they get out of view. Because you know, on a night like this, if you let them go even for a few moments, they'll disappear.
13.
13. You jump out of the door.
Acrobatics, by the way.
Acrobatics? Okay, yeah, you spring out of the door and you try to grab a hold of them, but you don't get as firm a grip as you were hoping, and they wiggle out of your grasp. But you do manage to tear away at the fabric of their cloak and come away with some kind of pouch. But unfortunately, they are able to evade your grasp. And as you try and sort of get yourself up out of the snow, they sort of head further afield, away from your group, and into the darkness. You could try and pursue, but you know that you don't know where they're going. It's up to you, or you could.
Yeah, he's not going to
return
go
with
that
what you
far
have.
away. He'll just go back with what he's got.
Okay. So as you look down into the what appears to be a pouch that they had tied to their belt, you open it up and you find in there an old key. Seems like it has. It's not sort of like just a regular house key. It's large. It's ornate. Doesn't seem like it would open anything that you would normally come across in a regular house or even a chest or something like that. Hard to know what it's for. And you also find a ring that was tucked in there that has the symbol of a black hand that wears silver rings on all the fingers. But that is all you find. And you return back to the house.
Yeah, and I'll walk in and abandon my watching post, and just I guess if they're still doing what they're doing, or I don't know where. I guess where would they be?
You can return to the house and you can discuss it in a moment if you like. Once they've done their investigation.
Okay.
Let's move on to Rodri. You were doing the desk, right?
Yes.
You know what? Just so we can split Eli up. Eli, you were doing the
Sorry, Eli, and then now Eli.
yeah. Isabel,
Alright,
you
so
were trying to make out what was on the walls. You can roll me an investigation or a survival. I suppose. Yeah, investigation is intelligence, right?
I think so.
yes.
Yeah. So you would have some help with that from the fox's cunning.
That is good because not in her entire wheelhouse.
Or you could roll survival if that is a much better stat for you. It's up to you.
Nah, investigation. So
Okay.
with advantage, or
Is that right, Phil?
What?
Fox's
Uh,
cunning.
It's just
Cunning.
any
Advantage?
intelligence-based skill advantage. Yes.
Cool.
Okay. This might roll twice. Oops. Alright, here we go. And that is a not natural 20.
Okay. Very nice. So, first thing I will say is there is all sorts of seeming maps and notes pinned up here. Some stuff is in languages that you don't understand. Some things it seems like diagrams of thoughts. But initially, you make out a map that seems to show an old temple south of the city to the elven god Labelas Enerath. I can spell that if anybody
please.
is. It is Labelas, and then second name Enoreth.
Wow.
And that is the elven god, the giver of life. Elven gods have really difficult names.
So
Can
like
confirm.
Legolas, but with a B, Legolas.
Yeah, kind of. You also find a note sort of pinned to the bottom of the map that says, "Keep the faithful to feed her. She will need strength early in her birth. It can be kept in the oratory."
It will be kept in the oratory.
It says, yeah, it says they can be kept in the oratory.
Can be okay.
And you sort of find your way to another map that seems to be a map of the temple grounds themselves. And on that are marked the temple itself. And then you see an oratory, a storage building, and a mausoleum also noted, so you know where those are.
Okay.
That was the temple, mausoleum, and what?
Oratory, storage building.
Temple, oratory, storage building, and mausoleum. So you now will know where those are, and that will make sense in a few moments.
Well,
After we're done with this cool flashback.
Yeah. You also find, most fun of all, you find a page of religious text that says, "The Revenancer stalks her prey. The vengeful banshee waits her day.
Oh
Her
boy.
daughter sent to clear the way. The dead will rise to bring dismay."
One more time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Just to see if I can copy and paste this to make it easier for you. Copy.
I feel this will be important.
Yeah.
There we go. You're old, high, so you got a lot of information here. I mean, whether any of it's useful, I don't know, but
Good to hear the DM say that.
but yeah, that is where the maps are obviously drawn sort of a bit more crudely and more recently. This seems like an actual, almost a page of religious text. It is nicely scrolled out, as if some kind of religious monk or such had written it. It's much more fancy. It's mostly what she can make out of as she sort of works her way around. It's a little bit. It has somewhat of the similarities of, when you go into a serial killer's house and they've got all of the stuff all over the walls, like all linked together and crazy. It kind of has somewhat. She's having to discern it all from that. But yeah, I'll let you mull on that, and we shall move on to Rodri.
Righto.
You can. It's probably going to be an investigation unless you want to fight for something else.
I don't think so. How long are we there? How long were we planning on being at this location?
You got there not too long. This is probably 5 or 10 minutes before you exit, so this is a pretty quick search.
Okay. And what time is it?
So this would be probably in the, I mean, obviously it's
So it's like
not
11:30ish.
super exact. 11:35, 11:40.
Okay. All right.
So if you were casting any kind of ritual spells or such, that would be, I mean, risky.
Yeah. No, I won't. I don't think it's gonna help in this instance anyway. Oh dear, I don't like investigation in this situation. However, no. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Looking at the writing on the wall, I know some of it's Elvish, and I know some of it is.
Yeah.
What script is it in?
What do you mean?
Well, certain languages use dwarven runes, dwarvish, orcish, that sort of thing. Some use draconic runes.
I see. Now, well, you're looking at the desk, right? You said at the walls.
No, I'm looking at the walls. Yeah.
I thought you were looking at the desk.
I'm looking at whichever one Isabel didn't look at.
Oh, you're looking at the papers on the desk then, sorry. She
Right.
she was looking at the scrollings on the walls.
Okay, that's fine.
So you glance at them briefly, but then you realize that Isabel's got that covered. And you see a number of you see a desk in the corner of the room. It has got papers strewn across it. There are drawers down there, so you're kind of investigating that.
All right. In that case, I don't see a way to make this not. May I guide
Athletics. I
myself
run through the desk.
in this action?
This you can 100% guide yourself. This is the perfect time.
I will guide. I will utter a prayer to Ogma. I will roll. Ogma let me down. That's a 6 plus 3 for 9 total.
Okay. Okay. So what you do find with that pitiful roll, you sort of picking up papers and reading them, but a lot of this
Rude.
is in a language that you don't recognize. I guess you could roll me roll me one quick intelligence check.
Sure you don't want, I don't know, religion or
This isn't really a religious situation.
arcana,
No,
insight.
this is just to understand what the language is.
Anything I got a
helps.
+7 in. Intelligence is a 13.
13. Okay, so it bears a relation to common, but is more poorly scrawled and harder to understand. So you get the sense that it sort of seems to chop and change between common and undercommon,
Right.
as if both languages are well known to this and they just use whatever is most convenient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. No people have been
But
like that.
you
as
do
a half-elf.
find references to the Banshee's daughter that keeps cropping up.
All right.
And alarmingly enough, you find that where you see this reference, one of the papers seems to be notes taken about Banshee's daughter, and the most important of which is that to summon her, it must be done at midnight of the winter solstice.
This is to summon the Banshee. Or the daughter.
To summon the Banshee's daughter. And that must be done at midnight on the winter's solstice. Now, I'm not going to ask you for an intelligence check to know what day it is today.
It's the winter solstice.
Yes. And you know that midnight is fast approaching. And that is ultimately on sort of finding this paper, that is what causes this, what could have been a thorough investigation to turn into a somewhat hurried investigation.
Yeah, I yell through to Chaucer and say, "Alright, Chaucer, we need to wrap this up quick. We got to get moving."
I will let you roll a perception check.
I do those a bit better.
As you just have a quick look around the rest of the desk.
Do I persist with my guidance or no?
You can persist, or you can re-guide yourself.
Well, yeah.
That's certainly possible.
Chaucer responds back, "Our conversation shall be short and sweet."
It's a 17 + 1 for 18.
18. Okay. You do find a hidden drawer, maybe a little bit more easy for you to find than sort of plowing through papers. You click a little button that's inside one of the drawers that doesn't seem to contain anything, and it pops out a little drawer underneath that contains a regular healing potion and a potion of heroism. I'm just going to assume that you know what those are from sight.
That's probably fair.
So you can grab both of those,
Righto.
and we will. There will be a few moments for discussion at the end of this. So I'm kind of going through each of you before you have that little discussion. So I'm going to move on to Chaucer. You go to take a look at this body. You can roll me either initially an investigation or a medicine check.
So, quick question.
Yes.
I guess it would be Winter Solstice Eve, right? Because if the Banshee's daughter is summoned at midnight on the Winter Solstice, then that would be 12 a.m. on the Winter Solstice.
No, it's not specific in that
Because
sense.
12 a.m. would
I know
be
that
the day
technically
after.
becomes a new day, but in
What
in
time
terms of
zone are
time,
we in?
Clocks are not quite as precise as that. So, in that sense, it is at the end of the night of the winter solstice, at the very end before it ticks over.
Okay.
But whose night? What? This is getting complicated.
You guys all celebrated winter solstice's eve last night. So, sure, sir. Investigation or medicine?
He's all right, let's see what you can tell me without actually telling me. And he goes for the medicine check. An 8.
An 8 total?
8 total.
Okay. So you take a look at this body, roll it over, and you see that it's the body of an elderly high elf dressed in ceremonial robes, grey in color, embossed with symbols of a setting sun on the hems. You can also, with that, you can tell that he's been dead for maybe a day. The skin has gone cold, and you see the ragged mark of red around his neck. That shows that he was strangled. And that was his death. But that's all you can really discern.
And
You know, I guess if you want to get an idea if they had anything, you could roll me an investigation. If you want to sort of palm them down.
he will attempt to. Yeah, he'll. Well, yeah, might as well go for an 8 for that too.
Now that says intimidation. Do you have a better modifier for investigation?
I don't. I think I might have misclicked. It is 1 worse. 7.
Right. I regret
Oh,
asking.
you guys.
Unless I can perceive. I mean, I can pickpocket this guy for like nobody's business.
But you don't know what there is to pickpocket. That's the problem.
This is true.
Let's see. Oh, I think that was supposed to say something. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, on looking him over, you don't see a whole lot else of use here. You could... Okay, I'll give you one chance to effectively pickpocket him. So you'll kind of miss anything in terms of investigating for useful clues and go straight to just pilfering his dead body.
This feels very kind. And that is a 22.
22.
He wasn't
Okay,
wrong.
so... Yeah, you...
Not much defense from that dead guy.
You can't make anything out, but you do find in his one thing in his hand. It's hard to miss because it was held tight in his hand, and you're able to pry it free. It is a sort of glass symbol shaped into the shape of an eye. And when I say that, not like an eyeball, but if you imagine just a sort of lidded eye, effectively. So it has a sort of ovalish shape, and actually has the pupil in relief on it, if you see what I mean. There's a slight shaping to the glass. Other than that, it is pure see-through glass.
That's the actual. The whole thing is shaped like an eye. Like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's probably 3 inches wide. You can hold it in the palm of your hand pretty easily. And at this point, I will let the 4 of you convene briefly as Rogery calls for you to wrap up your investigations. Knowing that things are about to go down shortly.
We're almost out of time here. We need to go.
What is the rush? We have plenty of investigating to do.
We have until midnight to stop it.
Oh boy, would these help? And Brian holds out his hands and shows the key and the ring, and I just chased somebody but I let them go in the night because I reached out to grab them, but all I grabbed was a pouch, and there was this weird-looking key and this weird-looking ring inside. I don't know what any of it means.
If anybody who feels like they have a religious lean wants to, they can roll me a religion check as you see the ring.
I would love to do that. I will ask for Ogma's blessing. Ogma is not doing me any favors. 13.
Get a new god.
Ironically, this is the god of knowledge and wisdom.
Oh, it's so failing.
You do not recognize this symbol, though it does seem to be a symbol. It is not one that... Oh, you know what? I wouldn't normally do this, but you are elven, so I will give you advantage on this.
Right.
Or you're half elven, so you
Okay,
have a
half
bit more
advantage.
Of a, yeah, you have a more of a frame of reference than anybody else would have.
Alright, so that would be a 16 then.
Ooh, you just hit it. So this appears to be a symbol of. You know what? I'm going to copy and paste this. Kierensely.
Bless you.
Symbol of who?
I'm gonna paste it into the chat for you.
That's what I thought you said.
And you know that this is the Lady of the Dead, the demigod of the Drow pantheon.
Alright, well...
Getting a 16, you don't know a ton about them, but you have you know the sort of elven and Drow
Yeah.
pantheon a little bit at least.
Right, so we're dealing with Drow.
And Isabel speaks up. And that key that you have is most likely for. And she pulls out. Did she take the map, or was it like small enough to bring
Yeah,
with?
she could grab it.
Yeah, she would go ahead and bring it with, and she kind of like presents the map, and she's like, "Well, there's the temple grounds, an oratory, storage building, and a mausoleum. It's likely one of those."
Good to know.
And Chaucier, he mentions, and I did not find much on the individual in there, but he did have this, and he shows the eye-shaped glass to the party. Most likely a clue or a piece of the puzzle in the future. Yes, no? Haha.
Oh, wow. That's pretty.
Oh, yes, it is, but not as pretty as you.
He smiles a toothy grin.
If anybody wants, they can have a look at this item.
The lid glass?
The eye. Yeah, the lidded eye.
What kind of
see-
look?
Well, depends who wants to check it out, really.
I feel like everybody would be curious. That's just me assuming, but I know Isabella is. I'm driving her.
Okay, Isabel could roll me Arcana. First up.
You might have advantage on that still, yeah. You do, apparently.
Did not unclick, but it is intelligence. Isabel with a 24.
24, nice. So
Thank you, Fox Cunning.
you, Isabel, realize that this is most likely a holy symbol. That can be used to focus spells, and practiced as she is in the arcane, she senses that there is more to this than a regular holy symbol, that this possesses some additional power of its own.
She conveys that to the party.
Do you mind if I take a closer look?
By all means, Rodri, do your magic. He kind of hands it over.
You could roll a religion or an arcana.
I was actually just going to cast Identify.
Oh, that's even better.
Not as a ritual. I'll burn a slot. It does still take a
Okay.
minute.
Well, that will also help you, I guess, with... Can you identify multiple things, or do you have to do it multiple times?
One object.
Okay. I mean, I already told you what the potions are anyway. I was just going to say that would be convenient. It is... so it is a holy symbol of +1. Plus, spells that are targeted at undead cause an additional d6 fire damage when focused through this.
Do cantrips
and it
cause
appears
that
to be.
spells?
It appears to be. Yep.
Okay.
It appears to be a symbol of the elven god Labalus Enoreth.
That checks out.
But anybody could use it, but that's who it was gifted by.
Right. Does anybody wish to use this?
Well, what does it do?
Right, sorry, I didn't explain. Essentially, it's a bit like this one, and I sort of gestured to the one on my shield. It's a focus for divine spellcasting. I don't really know what everybody does here, to be honest. I don't know exactly how everyone sources their magic. I know everyone's got a little bit of something going on. So I know it's something I could use. But
I mean, I am very divine, but I have my loot.
right, okay, that checks out. Isabel, Chaucer?
Chaucer just kind of gives like a little laugh. He's like, divinity is not my speciality. And Isabel, just for clarity, you said it is specifically via channeling divinity-based spells, or just...
It is the holy symbol rather than a arcane focus.
Okay, and she's, I haven't much use for that.
Yeah, she probably needs one of the pack keeper or something.
Yeah.
Likely. I don't know warlocks.
So, I mean, you can pocket it if you wish, Rodri, and use it if you wish, or if it goes against your religious beliefs, just have it on hand.
I think, actually, Rodri is fine with the concept of, especially being a half-elven, I think it's probably, he would consider it not horribly sacrilegious.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he'll just hold it in one hand for now,
Okay.
with no obvious way to affix it to his shield in a short moment.
Yeah, you probably would have to sort of be holding it to channel its focus, but it doesn't require attunement, so, you know, you could, on situation, you can pocket it and take it out as needed, or...
Right, yes. Okie doke.
Any more discussion before you move out? What I will say is, you guys that have investigated share the information that you've got, so you guys pretty much have all the information that you discovered. You sort of take a moment. You may even take some time to discuss it kind of as you run, but it's going to be awkward because you know you're in a hurry.
I feel like, I'm content to move forward.
Yep.
Unless there's any other questioning.
Yeah, no,
I don't
Full
have any
disclosure
other
of
questions.
information.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
you
we're on.
kind of sort of have, I would assume, vague ideas that something's going down, but not anything too crazy yet.
Isabel would share again, the quotes that she found. Keep the faithful to feed her. She will need strength early in her birth and can be kept in the oratory. And I would say that she would probably kind of say, like, in group discussion that there's talking about feeding, and with this reverencer that stalks her prey, and like the dead will rise, probably need to stop a sacrifice. Whether or not that's in a temple, oratory, storage building, or mausoleum, who knows?
Right. Yep. I think it'll happen in the temple. Based
But
on
are they
what
storing?
they're storing them in the oratory.
But there is a storage building.
Yep, that's true too.
All right, we cut back to you bursting into the clearing of the temple grounds.
Oh well. Hello?
I've been looking at
Hello?
Quill's picture and thinking it's Rodri.
Oh, I wondered why you thought I was an elf.
Oh,
That's the problem.
Yep.
I'm looking at Quill thinking,
you know what else is a thing?
No.
Boom.
Oh,
Battle
it's the
map.
uh-oh.
No, just because there's a map doesn't mean it has to be a fight.
Shopping map.
There we go.
There we go. That's far less
So-
intimidating. The shopping map.
Yeah. Here is the shopping map. So this is the temple grounds. To your left is the temple as you enter through the
Wait,
broken
left.
down wall.
Wait.
To our characters
Okay.
left or to...
All right.
Because you're running. Sorry. Because you're running in.
Which
from
way is
the-
north?
From the north. North is up.
Okay.
I haven't done a fill on you.
I mean,
So
you have a little
you ran
bit.
south out of town. And yeah, to your left as you enter the grounds is the
Wait, east or west?
east.
Okay.
Our east or the characters east?
Oh, gee. Which way?
Which way are you facing?
Which way does the sun rise?
Oh gosh, that got epic. Come on now. Oh, okay.
You're just trying to.
Sorry,
get
I'm
size
talking to my
up.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't get it right. Stupid screen.
It's always
It won't.
tricky.
I'm gonna shut up now.
But to your left, to the east on the map here, but to your left as you run in is the large square, squared off temple up a number of steps. Door closed at the moment. To your right are 3 buildings. The first of which you would know to be the oratory, the one closest to you. And then a little further away is the storage shed. And then one that you actually can't really see very well right now due to it's the snow and the darkness taking it out of sight. But you know down there somewhere is the mausoleum.
Like directly in front of us.
Yeah, the one that's directly in front, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
You just know. You just assume from the map
Okay.
it's there because your vision is effectively limited to 60 feet.
Is it
Probably
lit
worse
up here,
for
or is
you,
it
actually.
like pitch black?
It is due to the cloud cover. It's pitch black apart from your torchlight right now.
But no signs
So-
of like this place of being...
No, there's no sort of nothing is lit up.
Okay.
in this area. So you're sort of just seeing. It's quite ominous because you know that stuff is there and you can kind of see the edges of it, but it fades off into the snowy darkness.
And sorry, which the archery and the storage?
The closest is the oratory, and then the storage is the second building to your right, and then the one that's directly, you presume, in front of you would be the mausoleum.
Yep. Cool.
So you burst into this clearing and think back on what you discovered earlier. You know that you are probably, it's hard to say exactly, you made relatively good time. Chaucer did a good job of leading you, so you know you have maybe a couple of minutes before things are supposed to take place. What would you like to do?
Isabel states that, well, now's as good a time as ever, and casts fiendish vigor on herself, allowing her to use false life without expending a spell slot.
Okay, nice.
And that's
Yeah,
1d4
that's
plus
temporary
4.
hit points, right?
So 5 temporary hit points.
Very nice.
And to the rest of us, Chaucer is going to investigate, or not necessarily, but he's going to look for tracks.
Investigate, you say? Roll me a survival check.
Well, I don't want to
Or a
use the
perception
terminology,
check.
but
You know
perception.
what? No, this
Survival.
will be a survival.
Yeah, it feels right. All right. Is that 15?
All right, so it is difficult. The snow is coming down pretty hard, so tracks are mostly gone. At this point, you see the faint outline of, it's just like the snow is slightly dented more in places. More so at this stage leading towards the temple building, so sort of curving off to your left. In that direction, a number of footprints. But that is about it at the moment.
It is difficult, but there are seeming tracks up to the temple.
Well, it does seem to be the most logical location. Yeah, gather close for a moment. No, not you, Isabel. Because
Unless you want to, of course.
I think I'd sort of assume that Rodri's familiar with how Isabel works. And I'll upcast A to level 3. So everyone besides Isabel gets 10 HP.
Woo!
Nice.
And then I'm gonna chug the potion of heroism.
Okay, nice.
Because
Do you know what the potion of heroism does?
I do. It gives me, ironically, 10 HP, which I'm now not doubling up on. And I wasn't taking it anyway. But it also, where did it go? Go back. It puts me under the effect of the bless spell for an hour without concentration.
Yep.
And 10 temp HP. So I will now put the 10 temp HP that I had put in there for the other reason that was wrong in the first place. And I will activate this bless button right here, my global attack modifier, and I will activate this one right here for my global save modifier. Right. I think that's all I can do to prepare us, really. So, my question is, should we go into the... I'm torn. If we should...
As he
Water
asks,
tree
or as he is asking that, Chaucer is kind of like arms extended to his side. He's kind of like spinning in circles, looking up at the snow. And it is him getting a sense of everything with his primeval awareness.
Oh, and what does that do again?
So he is looking for aberrations, celestials, dragons, elemental, fae, fiend, and undead within 1 mile.
I always love that.
Super handy.
Very flavorful. And yeah, it's good to know what you're up against.
As of right now, you do not sense any of those things.
Okay.
I like how he worded that. As of right now.
Yeah, and for the time being, we are clear of any significant threat. Of a higher power, of course.
Well, apart from just good old-fashioned evil people.
Just the regular kind.
Right.
But, back to your question, what shall we do?
Right, exactly. Which way do we go? I don't know.
We split the party.
I think that's a terrible idea. I literally don't think I can express how bad an idea I think that is. I mean, it seems likely that the temple's the way to go, right? That's where things almost certainly going down, and you think you've seen footprints headed that way, give or take.
How much time do we have left?
Not much. Minutes?
Yeah, you would, as you've taken a few a few moments here to get your bearings and a few things, you think you probably have a couple of minutes till the imaginary clock would strike.
All the fun most likely will happen in the temple.
Right. I think we approach as quietly as we can.
Looking at the temple, just from, wherever we are, is there any light? Is there any windows?
They so you would just see from this sort of corner, you see that there do seem to be windows of what probably were a stained glass.
Okay, but they're
but
so they're closed.
It's a little hard to... Yeah, they don't seem to be windows that actually open, per se. They are sort of decorative in nature and to theoretically let light in. But it's hard to make out entirely because with no light behind, the only reason you would get the feeling it might be stained glass is because you see the intricate patterning of metal between the panes in irregular shapes.
One quick question.
Mm-hmm.
The holy symbol,
Yes.
is that +1 to DC and or spell attack bonus?
Yes and yes.
Okay. Because I know there were some weird things that I think one of the War Mage only does one of those or something like that.
I gotcha.
But I don't remember which one it is anyway.
Hustle into everything.
That makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? They didn't have to think.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Good to know.
Well, if time is of the essence, should we not stealthily hurry?
Yes, and I'm going to extinguish my torch.
So sorry, Brian.
Just do
Sorry?
this to keep up.
Yeah, what's everybody gonna do? Is everybody gonna extinguish their torches, or just some of you?
Who all was holding torches?
I'm saying everybody was, regardless of whether you thought you were.
Okay. I mean, I'll
With-
just follow suit with what everybody else is doing.
So
Like,
everybody.
I would just
Oh,
extinguish my torch. Yeah, I would just extinguish my torch if I thinking that that's what the general consensus is.
You know what? I would actually use thaumaturgy.
mhm.
I'm going to dim my torch, and as on one turn, and then on the next turn, I'm going to change its color to moonlight,
Oh, wow.
Okay.
and I can maintain those effects for a minute
Okay,
to make it seem
sounds
less
good.
unnatural. I mean, as a torch, it
So,
looks horrifically unnatural, but
What sort of radius does that give off?
I'm thinking it's only going to be like I'm going
Maybe
for
a
like
5-foot radius, maybe.
if I can get it dimmer, I will. I'm not really looking for it to light the way so much as indicate where I've gone
Okay.
to allow
So,
Brian
yeah,
to
as
follow
you-
behind me, basically.
Assuming everybody else plunges their torches into the snow, Brian, you are left in pitch black, apart from a faint glow from the torch of Rodri.
Okay, he'll gravitate towards that and try to place a hand on Rodri's shoulder
Alrighty.
to be able to see
Yeah, it's
or
now
to follow
pitch
him.
black. You can
Be
just,
led.
You can. Yeah, for you cannot see anything. For everybody else, you have your dark vision, but even that is awkward to see through, and you just feel the snow pattering against your face the whole time. What do you do?
If no one says anything, Chaussier is going to sprint forward and take like a decent lead stealthily.
Okay. And where are you going?
Heading up towards the temple, like, adjacent to
what
like
are you
an
giving-
entrance door.
Yeah, what are you giving yourself, like, in front of the others?
At least because my initial movement would technically be like 60, so I would probably put a good 30 feet in between us. Just
Alrighty.
initially.
Is everybody else following after that as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and you said you're heading up towards the temple. Are you heading up the main steps towards the front door?
Following, well, he would, yes, towards the front door, but off to the side.
Okay.
Keeping out, like a perceptive, dark vision eye.
Yeah. As you progress down the path and up towards the temple, you begin to see more of the grounds emerge at the back. You see the sort of mausoleum in the distance, and the temple looms up into view. It's sort of multi-tiered roof, juts up ahead of you, pillars down each side of it. And you begin to creep up the steps, and as you do, you note that the door appears to be closed. And as you look down the side of the temple, you see a few windows down there. They seem to be reasonably high up for windows. They're probably start at about 4 feet, and they're large, and like I say, multi-paned, sort of stained glass. Sort of colored material, you would presume. They sort of appear relatively black and with no light behind them. And yeah, what do you and you others sort of follow in behind. I guess as you get up close, let's roll some stealth checks for people just to see how you're doing.
14 Chaussier.
Okay.
$15 for Brian.
5 for Isabel.
Seven. For Rodri.
7. Okay, so yeah, the following group is not doing the best job. They're not the sort of stealthiest bunch. Brian aside, who is fairly lightly equipped, and a dexterous fellow. So, sir, as you creep up the steps, you hear the first noise that breaks the quiet sort of pelting of snow and wind, and you hear a harrowing scream from inside the temple, and it lasts for maybe a couple of seconds and then trails off. And then all becomes quiet again.
And would one discern that this was a, like, stabbed in the stomach harrowing scream?
It sounded
Painful.
like the sound of a wounded individual. Yeah.
Oh, this is not good.
Rodri quickly looks to his partners next to him. Not that they can both see him, and says, "Do we abandon stealth? I think we need to just get in there."
Agreed.
This is the time for action, darling.
I'm going to brighten the torch
Alrighty.
so that Brian can see and start galloping towards Chausseur.
Alright. And sure, sir, are you gonna wait for them to get up to you?
If noticing that, like, you know, he went full torch on, like flame on.
I very nearly said flame on. It's my favorite kind of
It
steak.
is clearly time for action, and go ahead and so you, at a glance, the door was like large and closed, but there were stained glass windows.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah,
make
down
a
the sides.
sprinting leap at a stained glass window.
Okay.
Wow.
We had ominous writings. Time is of the essence. It is the time for action.
Oh, we're suddenly on a different
Alrighty.
map, everybody. It looks the same,
Wait.
but it isn't.
Pull your characters onto the map, and you can put yourself kind of on the exterior of the temple. Yeah. You guys were charging up. That seems like a good
Wait,
place.
where are we?
Just off the
So if you go to your name on the right hand side, you can pull your name onto the map, and it'll put your figure on there.
Okay.
I,
Oh dear. Oh dear. Things have happened. Okay.
And you can just keep on pulling your character on.
So
Wait.
I'm just going to move you
That's not
temporarily
working.
out so you can see yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, I see multiple Isabels.
That was a poor example of what you can do.
Oh, okay. Is
Just,
that not working for you? I'll do it for you, Brian.
Oh,
There you are.
jeepers.
He's a big boy.
Let me see if I can shrink you down slightly. And a bit more. There we go.
Not too
Well,
much more because it's already tiny on my screen. And
would-
if I
I would
zoom in, I'm going to
encourage-
really have a hard time to move him around.
I would encourage zooming in a little bit on the temple if that's any help.
Okay.
And center Isabella. I cannot click on her. I don't have control over the icon.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
that's. Oh, you may just need to. If you double click
I'm
on the
gonna change
icon
to
and
control by.
yeah.
Yeah. There you go. You should have control now.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I don't have control of myself.
It's a horrible
I'm
situation.
out of control.
Controlled by.
Brian's like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Brian. Okay, you should have control of yourself now.
Okay.
I only have control of myself.
That's excellent. So I'm actually going to have you guys roll initiative now.
Here we go.
What is your you have dark vision 60 feet, I assume, sir?
I believe I do. And actually that would probably hold on, looking through. Language. Quick Google search. Apparently Tabaxi have dark vision.
Yes, they do.
Ah, yes, our resident other
They
Tabaxi.
do. Yes.
Beautiful.
They have the keen senses, I think, as one of their innate abilities. Right? Isn't that what it is? What elves have? Anyway, yeah, they have dark vision, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember what's that in.
So proficiency, yeah, Tabaxi have feline agility, dark vision, cat's talent, and cat's claws. Okay.
Yeah, I think that cat's talent is a dexterity boost situation.
It gives perception and stealth proficiency.
Okay.
All right, back to. And that should have been Isabel at a 6. For whatever reason, it didn't pop up.
And you're at 17?
And yes.
So let me reveal a couple of things.
Oh boy.
That's a yike.
And of course, we'll pop you back in there.
Is that a spider?
Is it?
Oh no, that's way worse than a spider. It's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry.
So, sir, you burst through the window. Roll me an athletics or an acrobatics check. As you burst blindly through a window you can't see through.
12.
You are fine. You managed to burst through the window and roll to a stance as you see beside you two figures. A figure directly beside you and then one on the opposite side. Each of them holding curved swords. They're drow dressed in dark ceremonial robes. And then as you look deeper into the temple, you see an altar before which stands an 8-legged creature that is a mix of spider and drow, that chittering feet turn and look in your direction as you quite noisily make your entrance. Beyond that,
We about to fight a god? Oh boy.
Beyond that are 4 figures huddled round the altar, also in robes. You see 2 of them only have one of their hands. The other is placed on the altar.
Like their hand?
Yes,
Oh.
it has been cut off and placed on the altar. So then I need to do that. So let me add these real quick, and then you can make your decisions about what you want to do. Whoa, I just somehow gave Shosur 40 initiative.
Take it.
That is not right.
That's what you get for jump through a window.
Very initious of you. That's a real
so
word, everybody.
First up, I just add the. Oh, I just have to click. Oh, the turn order thing is a pain.
Yeah, it
Anyway.
is. Yes. Now, do you care that we can see those names? I don't think
No.
it matters.
I figure you'll kind of, you got the idea anyway.
Yes.
Upon leaping into the room, may I inquire at the height of the ceiling in here?
Yeah, of course you can.
Oh yeah.
Is that your action?
That's Eli's action.
The height of the ceiling is you have 20 feet above you. And
Okay.
you don't have a lot of time to take it in, but it's quite beautiful. Like, the architecture is lovely. It's kind of got something of an arch up above, like a stone arch that makes way into wooden beams at the top of the building. There are pillars down the center of the temple and benches, and then the altar up a few steps there. Brian, you are quickest to react to the situation. You see Chaucer, you hear Chaucer burst through a window after saying something about now's the time. I don't remember what he said. But you hear the burst of a window as Chaucer enters the temple. What would you like to do?
He will immediately follow.
Going for the window?
Yeah.
Through the window. Wow.
So assuming you have movement 30, you can get up to the window. You
Okay.
do move out of the immediate torchlight and are in maybe. Torches don't give off a lot of light, so you're pretty much in the dark now. So you're just going off of sound.
All right. I'll cast light. It's a cantrip.
Okay.
Hang on.
Woohoo.
You know what?
What are you casting
Do
it
you need
on?
me
Did
to
you cast-
pop it in?
You can if you like, but I think you cast it on an object, right?
I do.
What are you casting it on?
This is a good question. I can't see. I will. I will just kind of
You can
aim
cast
in the
it on
direction
you.
that I feel like. Oh, I could cast it on myself, can I? I could. I'm gonna pull out one of my daggers and I will cast it on my dagger.
Okay, nice. There, you as you run up to the window, you realize that you've run out of the torchlight and have no idea what's going on. And you pull your dagger from your sheath, and it erupts into a light of what color?
Yellow.
A yellow light radiates out. A nice warm light radiates out, and with that, you can see a chasseur poised just in front of the window, and not a lot else right now. Due to where you're at, you can probably see a across the way, dimly, a dark figure, sword in hand. So you know there is trouble ahead, but that's probably all you can see from the angle you're at.
Okay.
That was your action. Any bonus action?
I will. I pull the dagger to my lips, to use it as a microphone, and I will. I will sing a little song to inspire Chaucer because he's in front of me and I'm thinking he's gonna be able to do something ahead of me. So I'm gonna inspire him as my bonus
Alrighty.
action.
Just so you
And
get
at this level, I think it's a D8. But I'm not sure. Hang on. Reading it right now. Where does it say? Is section. Yeah. Yeah, I need to know what a D8. Yeah, it's a D8.
Alrighty, so you get a D8 inspiration.
That can be used on anything, right? Any D20.
Yeah, and
Any
you can
D20,
just on a D20 roll, and you can decide it after you roll the dice. You don't have to decide to use it before or anything.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
With that, the drow in the corner pulls their blade and swings it at you, and the one from across the way, the other figure, darts over, sword in hand as well, and they both take a swipe at you. Getting a 2, so whatever the modifier is, that's not going to hit.
Hits.
Oh, and then a 22.
Oh, misses.
And that blade cuts into you for 6 slashing damage.
Okay.
And it is your turn. The figures towards the altar don't seem to have fully reacted yet to this development.
All right. Well. And to recap, what can be seen. So there was the hands on the altar.
Mm-hmm.
The
There's 2
four
hands on the altar, kind of. They are laid next to each other in kind of a right angle.
Okay. And there's 4 individuals,
Yeah.
and
So
2
it's
of them
like-
still have their hands.
Yeah, like a hand there and a hand there.
Okay. All right. This is a not ideal situation, and he's going to, kind of like reverse somersault away from them using the dodge action,
Mm-hmm.
and it is not slippery inside here, is it?
Nope, it
And
is. It is nice stone floors.
Then he is going to Prince of Persia when he's gonna, do his reverse somersault.
Mm-hmm.
And like get up into a roll and go Prince of Persia running along the side of the wall towards the ceiling.
Oh yeah. Nice.
With his spider climbing shoes.
So yeah, you patter up the wall. Are you staying in the same place where you're at, or are you moving in any direction?
He's moving towards the wall, towards the altar, and vertically.
So
He's gonna go ahead and
probably-
try to get to like the tip top. Yeah.
Let me just get rid of that.
Oh, you were trying
so
to move
you
them.
would probably, yeah, you'd probably get to because it'd be like 20 feet up, and then 10 feet across. Do you have more movement than that?
I think I'm 30. I'm 30 speed base, yeah.
I'll give you a diagonal and let you get to there
Okay.
if you wish to.
Yeah, so like in his mind he's getting up and elevated, but he's also going to be heading towards the altar.
Yeah. Yeah, so you patter up the wall, and you see the surprise in the drow's faces as you escape their clutches.
And he's like, "You'll never catch me, haha!" And bonus action.
So what did you actually? Because I wasn't sure if you were taking the dodge action or the disengage. Were you actually taking the dodge?
I meant disengage. Sorry, because that allows
Okay.
me to.
So you've still got an action left then.
That is my action, isn't it?
And well, you're how roguey are you?
Because you can disengage
As
if
a-
you've
as
got
a
2
bonus?
rogue.
I think I'm one rogue.
Okay. So yeah,
He's
that was
primarily a ranger.
okay.
Wait, what am I? It's not in my. I have sneak attack. I have favorite enemy, natural feline. I think I'm one rogue, 4 ranger. Because if it's 2 rogue, I don't have that.
Do you have a feat? Because that would probably help. Well, unless you just took a stat up, in which case that doesn't help at all.
I think I must have statted up.
Oh, that doesn't help at all.
No. Which would also have been odd for me, but I don't have a feat listed, so I'm assuming.
Ah, well.
Yeah. All right. So running up, yeah. Using my action to disengage, using my movement, and then oh, let me see. I'm sorry. I haven't played this in a while. Bonus action, Hunter's Mark on oh, might as well be the big spider in the middle.
Alrighty. So yeah, you focus your hunter's mark onto him.
Spends a spell slot.
And that is probably all you can do.
Yes.
So, Rodri.
Right. I will... Oh, that's what I'm looking for. Right, I'll go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then... Are those all windows on that side there?
No, there's one every 15 feet. There is also a door at the front of the
Yeah.
at the front of the chapel.
Alright, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll be regular.
I'm just mentioning it in case anybody's curious.
Yep, no, it's fine. I'm going to, as a bonus action... Do I want to do this? No, you know what? I'm just going to try and... I'm gonna, as an action, I'm gonna dash. I'm gonna try and run through the door.
Oh, it's locked. I'm just kidding, it's open.
Oh, fantastic. That was 5, 10... Oh dear. That's my initial response.
Yes, as you enter, you see Shosa on the ceiling, which is very disturbing. But then you also notice a bunch of drow gathered in the temple.
Would I know what a spider boy is down there?
Yes. You suspect that is a fiendish creature, a dryder, combination of spider and drow.
Not very original. Right. Okay, I will... so that's 10, 15, 20... Are these pews here?
Yes. Well, there's benches, actually. rather than
Okay.
pews.
In that case, I'll sort of come down here. I'm just going to take my torch and just pop it next to me down here.
Okay, yep.
I'm not holding that anymore. I'm going to remove the order from myself at this stage. And then I will, with my bonus action, I'm starting to see the altar things happening. I'm a little conflicted. I'm going to do pains me. I'm gonna do a spiritual weapon.
Okay.
I'm going to bring in a big mace here, not unlike the mace I have at my hip.
Okay.
And I'm going to now, do either of these on the bottom here have a hand still? Or have two hands, I suppose I should say.
No, they are both one-handed.
In that case, I'm going to move this up here instead. And I'm going to try and thunk one of the wands that is currently two-handed.
Okay.
So it's just this, really. Yeah, second level, thank you. That is a 28 to hit.
That will most definitely hit.
Sadly, only for 5 force damage, because I rolled a 1 on the damage dice. Oh, is that my spiritual weapon that just popped in?
No, that's the torch.
Oh, that's the torch. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, 5 force damage.
5 force damage. Okay, so the mace swings around. You said it was in the red road one, the one
that's fine.
closest to the door, and he takes the force of the blow to the head, and staggers back momentarily.
Oh, that's me now.
Alrighty, cool. There we go.
That's a bit bigger than I intended, but it'll work.
As you are done, you see the figure furthest from you that still has their hand pull a ceremonial blade, hold their hand out over the altar, grit their teeth, and carve through their arm, causing their hands to drop to the altar.
That's not good.
The others look towards the spidery figure for reassurance. He nods and turns towards you,
Oh.
and they go back to what they were doing. Seeing Chaucer up on the ceiling, he scuttles over the room and scuttles up the wall towards you. Seemingly also able to climb walls.
Ruh-roh.
And
Does this make sense?
you see him draw 2 blades from his sides. As he's drawing them, and you prepare yourself for that, he actually leans forward, fangs dripping, and attempts to bite you. He rolls a... Ooh, that's going to be a 23 to hit,
Oh yeah, that hits.
which is going to be 5 piercing damage. And 3 poison damage as you feel an injection of poison into your arm where he bites you.
Oh!
And he slashes at your sword for a 13 to hit.
Misses.
And a natural 1. As he goes to slash with the other sword, his momentum gets carried away and it flies out of his hand and clatters to the floor beneath. And he just scowls at you.
Oh, you dropped something?
Isabel.
All right. Where is she at? Oh, quite far away. Isabel runs up to.
She saw you jump in the window, and she saw Rodri run in the front door.
She is going to follow the front door route.
Okay.
So
It's less destructive.
20, 25, and as she
She
makes her
bursts
way
into
in.
the door and sees the scene unfolding before her.
Okay. So She sorry, with the scene unfolding in front of her and knowing what they were questing here for, um, hold on, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm sorry that I'm...
You're okay. Whilst you're thinking, Brian, you're gonna have an action next. You see the drow in front of you, and you heard another scream. Saw Rodri dash past the window, drop his torch so that between your light and his torch, the entire inside is illuminated.
So, because... Did she change her spells? I'm just gonna go with what's actually on the character sheet. I think that she may have.
Makes sense.
But we'll just go. All right. So, the body that we came across earlier, you said was dead for less than 24 hours, or more than 24 hours.
It had been about a day. It was hard to tell.
All right. In the off chance, then, so we're gonna, because I feel like Liz would have done this. She probably would have collected the blood from the slain individual, and when she bursts in and sees this display of, like, a lot of people and this spider, and she's like, well, maybe we can have some help here. And she is going to she's going to pull out the vial of blood collected and start uttering verbal incantations and performing hand gestures and attempt to summon lesser demons.
Alrighty, and what is she going for?
I did not have that on my bingo card.
I'm just gonna try to, oops, I want to click this again here.
Oh, nice.
I think, is she going for, because I think I choose the actual what demon it is, right? But you choose
You choose the demons, such as mains or dretches. You choose...
Are you looking for one or two of challenge rating 1?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and go with some, like, beefier demons.
Or do you just roll the d6 and that's what determines it?
Actually,
d6 summoned.
I misinterpreted, so oops.
Okay, we'll take 18.
All right, so that is a 3, so that would be 3 to 4 half challenge rating.
Alrighty. 3 to 4.
So I guess 3 half challenge rating is what that would be. I reckon that's what that translates to.
Yeah.
I think it's 1 to 2 you get 2 thingies, 3 to 4 you get 4, 5 to 6 you get 8. I think it's a table that's not translated well to the thing, because it doesn't actually have separation.
Oh, it says 4 demons. I didn't learn to read.
Alright, so you bring in You summon in 4 dretches. Where would you like them to be?
If space you see within range. If are they all on one spot, or are they kind of scattered?
They'll sort of appear together, but then can move apart somewhat.
On the table, on the altar.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, they
support this
drop
message.
down, and
So when she does this, so like she's doing the components and she's holding, or she's doing the incantations and making the gestures, and the blood starts to flow out of the vial that she's holding, and it circles her, and it does like a light raining effect as it forms a bloody ring into the air and rains to the ground around her, forming like a bloody protective ring.
nice.
And a light begins to, like a violet or like a purple chaos light starts to swirl on the altar, and it cracks, and these 4 whatever they are appear.
Yeah, dretches. They're weird
Dretch.
demonic creatures that just drop down onto the table. And look hungry and confused. I think it's fair to say.
And she'll say aloud, she says, "They're hungry and they don't discriminate," to sort of give the party a heads up.
Yes, indeed. Alrighty. Does she have anything else she needs to do?
That is all she can do. I'm sorry that took so long.
That's all right. So yep, they appear. Brian, you you glance over, finally noticing the altar now, and 4 demonic creatures drop down onto it. Things have taken quite the
Okay.
turn.
I can see that from the window, being outside the
Yeah,
window.
you kind of like are able now to just kind of push your head in a little bit at the start of your turn and get a sense
Right.
of what's going on here.
Okay, yeah, there. I think there. I am. Oh, it's a cube. Who is this right here? Does it
That
paint
is that was
in front of
you.
the spider?
Oh, that's Chaucer. He's up on the ceiling or the
Oh,
wall. effectively.
Perfect. I am going to cast Thunder Wave on the spider.
Oh boy. Now the spider's up on the ceiling as well. Is that okay?
Oh. Did not realize that.
Yeah, everybody be
Yeah.
climbing in here right now.
Oh, Jesus.
Everybody else is on the floor, but those 2 are engaged on the ceiling. Now you
Never
can
mind, because you said that's like 20 feet up, and that's a 15-foot cube in front of me, so that's not going to work.
Okay.
I will. Ooh, that could be interesting. The ceiling is 20 feet above us.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you said?
Yep.
Well, let's try this. This will be fun. I want to cast Catnap on the spider.
Can you target non-friendlies?
Range 30 feet. A willing creature. Oh, never mind. I don't think that it's going to be willing.
Probably not.
weird.
You could try it, but it's asking a lot.
Yeah.
I'll cast suggestion. Be willing.
There
Oh.
we go. Okay.
That's actually really interesting.
Right.
I did not read that part. Why does it have to? That's weird. Okay.
It's a weird one.
It is a weird one.
It's more for use out of combat.
Because I think there's something in the wording that also says if they don't try to save against it, and it's like, well, but they have to be willing anyway, right? So, okay, whatever.
I think you can make an ally fall asleep against their
Yeah.
will.
Well, I should have read that better. Thunder Wave I can't make happen. Because even at higher levels, it just does more damage. It doesn't increase range.
I mean,
You could target something else.
yeah, there's other people you could Thunderwave.
This is true. I would also potentially hit those guys, but I need to get closer to them too, I guess.
What about the other people behind you who look menacing with swords?
Oh, those are not us.
Those are definitely
those
not
are
us.
two the two drow that were seemingly guarding the door.
See,
Not very well.
I will aim it at them then. Dun, dun, dun.
All right, and you can't pass them, right?
Yeah.
Can't
Oh, the
through the
attacks of
window?
opportunity.
They're gonna have swipes as you go by real quick.
Well, okay. If I'm not going after the spider, can I just step in the window, see them, and be like, could I hit both of them from here? If it's a 15-foot
If you want, you
cube.
could cast it. You know what? I'll say you could cast it as you're about to step in the window, which would hit them, and then step in afterwards. So
Okay.
yeah, that's totally fine.
All
What
right.
what happens?
I'm going to post it. If it'll cooperate
go.
with me here.
Constitution saving throw. So I will roll a couple of those. Okay, we've got a wow. I rolled pretty well. A 17 and a 13.
Does that go against my spell save DC?
Yeah.
A 15.
So one saves and one doesn't. So I guess one will take the full damage. One will
One
take half
takes
damage.
Yeah, if on a failed save, then it's 2d8, and they get pushed back 10 feet away.
All right.
On a
So
failed
the one that
save,
was-
yeah.
The one that was in front failed, so he gets pushed back 10 feet as well as taking the full damage.
And then the other one will take half the damage and doesn't get pushed back.
Alrighty.
Um,
So what is
and
the damage?
then
2d8? Give me that damn.
it's 2d8. Boom. Okay.
Oh,
Whoa. Okay, well I didn't
That's the
think
good
this would
stuff.
happen, but you emit this huge wave of thunder and it echoes out in front of you, and crazily enough, that is enough to actually slay both of them. They are
Oh.
they are not soldiers per se. They were semi-regular people, and it just the sheer force, you see the blood trickling from their eyes and nose, and they're slain. One in fact, flies back into the pew.
Has
And
anybody seen Crash Test Dummies?
the actual Crash Test Dummies?
The old animated series.
Like,
Oh no.
I didn't really watch it, but I know what you're talking about.
Parts.
Yep.
Yeah, it was you're surprised by the ferocity of your own attack, and you step in behind it proudly. Anything else you want to do? Your inspiration is
that's-
still up, so that's probably good.
Yeah, that's it. I don't have any other bonus actions.
Alrighty. Well, that takes them out. Chasseur.
Chaussier is after
Are
having
embroiled in combat with a spider on the ceiling. Ferocious.
after he gets bit, he's like, oh, after a meal you must be thirsty, and whips out the cask of endless water and says, geyser, and attempts to blast it with a fire hydrant level blast of pressurized water.
What does that do?
So, reading after the decanter, as an action, you remove the stopper and speak the command word. A geyser, which produces 30 gallons of water that gushes forth in a geyser 30 feet long and 1 foot wide. and I'm gonna use my bonus action. While holding the decanter, you aim the geyser at a creature you can see within 30 feet of you, in front of me. Target must succeed on a DC 13 strength saving throw, or take 1d4 bludgeoning damage and fall prone.
Wow, I rolled a natural 3, so that is going to fail.
Yes.
I can't believe you're using nursery rhymes against it. The itsy bitsy spider is being washed down the spout right now.
You said it falls prone?
It falls prone.
Oh, if I had a... I mean, it kind of... Just imagine how it looks there. That's exactly how it looks, but flat against the floor. Its legs sprawled out. It drops from the ceiling. It's actually going to take a little extra bludgeoning damage as well.
And just for the sake of asking, does Hunter's Mark kick in?
Takes 10 bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Oof.
Nice.
Yeah, Hunter's Mark. You can add that. So you can add the D4, the Hunter's Mark. Nice. 1 for the Hunter's Mark. Or was that for the... Yeah, and then don't know if you did the damage for the water.
Water damage was 4.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Severe
15
blast.
total damage. Yeah. One thing it was not expecting was to be waterboarded. And it falls prey. It tries to... You see it try to shoot out a web, but it doesn't make contact, and it just falls and splatters against the floor. Although very much not dead.
And Shawshear's, he's caught off guard, and he's actually almost wildly spraying it after it knocks it off, trying to regather the hold of it.
Mm-hmm. Does he want to move any, or are you happy there?
He smiles and laughs, haha, and starts sprinting along the ceiling to above the altar.
Alrighty, and you look down upon quite the scene. I'll let you decide where you want to go.
Oops.
Bit of me. Rodri. You see a third hand be placed in this circle of hands, or square of hands, however you want to look at it.
And now I
But
can't
you
even...
also see four demons drop down onto the altar, looking confused and angry.
I'll be honest, my first plan's now gone out the window. Which was to jump up there and steal the hands.
Not necessarily out of the question, it's just more difficult.
It's a lot more difficult. Alright, so who still has a hand? Or 2 hands, I mean.
The red-robed one that you have hit.
Alright. Let me start by clobbering again with my spiritual mace.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. It made me ask the question again. Alright, that's a 24 to hit for would you Adam and Eve it? Another 5 force damage. Because I rolled...
5 bad.
Well, it's the minimum damage twice.
So you smashes him across the face, and he staggers into his white-robed friend, looking confused and quite bloodied, but not quite down for the count.
Are they all cutting off the same hand?
Yes, they're all cutting off their left hands.
Right. Okay, good to know. Alright. Then I will... Oh, it's risky. Risky for a biscuit, I suppose. Alright, 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm just going to run across the front of the pews here. Get to this point. So I'm horribly aware that there's a Dryder next to me. And I'm basically blocking that out. And I'm just going, so I've got my shield out, and then I'm going to reach into my pocket with my right hand, grab the eye, and I'm going to whisper to it, and then point it at the red-robed acolyte, and cast Sacred Flame.
Alrighty.
So
That's a saving throw, right?
Yes, it's a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, I do have a good bonus to Dex. Or relatively.
Could you not?
Oh, I take it back. I don't have a good bonus to Dex.
Ah, well done.
So that will hit. I rolled a 7.
Right,
Straight
yeah.
flat 7.
DC 16, so. Alright, so it's 2d8 radiant. Ignore most of those dice. Okay, it rolled the d4 because it's just adding 1 to the attack roll, but there is an attack roll. So it's 8 radiant is the point.
The flame bursts up his blackened, slightly reddish robes, and he screams out as the flame engulfs him. He was already in quite a state and drops to the floor, and you see the figure next to him shout, "No!" and scramble to try and put the fire out, but the figure is very much engulfed in flame and seems to be at the least unconscious.
Right. That'll do me.
All right. It is their turn.
Did the demons roll for initiative, by the way?
They did. They are.
Okay.
They are in there. I just didn't add it to the tracker.
Gotcha.
As long as you know, that's
boy.
all that matters,
Yes.
I guess.
He hit it so he can put him in where he wanted them.
Yup.
I know.
He-
I know.
The figure in the white robe turns to his friend beside him, and who has fallen, and gingerly touches a hand to his robes, and dark energy forms and seems to quench the fire and push into their body, and you see the one you felled somehow, against all odds, shake their head and seem to be regaining consciousness. At the same time, the two on the other side, seeing you do that, hold out their one good right hand towards you. Actually, one of them, the one on the left is going to hold out and cast Sacred Flame on you.
Seems fair. I believe that's a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very sacred if they're doing it. Oh, that's an 8.
8. So, what's the damage on that? Remind me.
Well, it depends.
Just a base, so it's D8.
Yeah, D8. Radiant.
7 radiant damage at you.
Oof. Right in the temporary hit points.
So yeah, a flash of fire, very similar to yours, but with a slightly more evil tinge, hits into you. The figure next to him wants to do that, but there are demons clambering off the table, so he takes his one good hand and punches at one of the demons in front of him. And actually connects, doing 1 damage to the to the dredge that is clambering in his face. The Dryder staggers to their feet,
Half of its movement?
looking angrily around.
Doesn't need
half his
much.
movement. And they are going to... they are going to take a bite at Rodri. That's a 19 to hit.
Hits.
And that is going to be 5 piercing and 6 poison damage.
Oof.
And then he dropped one of his swords, but his other sword sings through the air. Oh, wow. 23 to hit
Hits.
for 6 slashing damage.
Oh.
Angrily taking its rage out on the closest thing to it. And it hisses in a language that you do not recognize at the robed individual that was brought low by fire and is trying to recover. An angry hiss, and on the table, the demons spin into action. Let me see what they're going to do. They are all going to claw away at the figures in front, the closest to them. So they're each going to attack. I'm just going to roll them all together. 2 of them hit, 2 of them ineffectually swat the air. And... oh, they don't actually do a lot of damage, unfortunately. But one of them strikes down at the priest. Actually, it's the 2 priests closest to the back wall that get hit, and they both take raking claws and sort of back slightly away. There's just absolute madness happening in here. Isabel, you see that in front of you, the demons that you cast are harrying the seeming priests around the altar. You see that there are a semicircle of hands on the table, and one of these acolytes is struggling to get back up and help out here.
She is going to say, if you know what's good for you, you'll stay down. And she is going to cast Mind Sliver.
Okay.
The enemy needs to make an intelligence saving throw against 14 or DC 14.
Oh, I rolled a natural 3, so it has failed.
All right, so they take 1d6 damage, and the next saving throw will take minus d4.
I will say with that 1d6 damage... oh,
5
yeah.
psychic
I was gonna say,
damage.
there's a pretty good chance that you knock them back unconscious, so you see them, but there's so much happening here. They were sacred flame down, they fell to the step, they were revived momentarily, the Drider hissed angrily at it, and then they raise a hand to their temple as they seem to struggle with pain and again lose consciousness before they can really gather what's going on, all within the matter of a few moments, and just slump to the floor.
And that should be it.
Ryan.
I am going to get within 10 feet of our friend, our spider friend.
Okay.
Is that within 10 feet, or is one
That's
more?
Oh, that's
Okay.
within 10.
Does can I see if she has any objects hanging off of her?
Yeah, she has so she has a belt with like a scabbard that would contain her swords and a bow slung across her back.
I am just going to throw a dagger at our friend.
Your lit dagger?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Now we're talking.
Make an attack roll. You can see as you step a little closer, you actually see the figure. It's hard to tell whether it's male or female entirely. Dark hair kind of pulled back, very sort of gaunt features. But you see them sort of straying away from the light. Oh boy. It is going to hit.
Okay, that was the right thing to do.
Yeah, 17 hits. And then if you click on the... yeah, hit on dagger and it should...
That's what I clicked initially.
Oh, I mean hit dagger on the chat screen there where it's shown where you've rolled.
I see.
And that should make it nice.
Okay.
So yeah, you do the 4 piercing damage. The knife embeds itself in effectively their spider body, kind of sticks between the chitin on the back there, and and is casting out a bright light. Now it's not technically daylight, but it is a bright light, so you can see that it does seem to be throwing them off. How that pans out, who knows?
Cool. And then that. Let's see. Trying to decide. I think I'll just stay where I am. So, yeah, I'll just stay where I am, and that's me done.
Okay, sure, sir.
As a retroactive thing, when Isabel, mine slivered the one down in the back of her mind. She hears the voice says, "Well done," and feels a little more like reinvigorated. Dark One's blessing providing her some extra temporary hit points.
Nice.
And then Chaussier is.
You see a bit of panic forming on the faces of the on the well-lit faces of the acolytes around the altar as their friend has been struck down, and there are demons scrambling at them from on top of the table.
Oh boy. They seem to have their hands full, and he will. While he's on the ceiling, he's going to kind of do like a one-footed or like a twirl while on. He's going to twirl on one of his feet, and then crouch into the ceiling and do like a fancy short bow shot at the Drider.
Okay, nice. What's that, Brian?
Sorry.
I'm so
I
confused.
accidentally clicked something.
That's what you think of this move.
A 25 to hit.
That will hit.
All right, so that is going to be a 10 piercing damage from the short bow with 2 hunter's mark damage with 6 hunter's prey damage with at this level I think it's just 1d6. Okay. Sneak attack damage. 2 sneak attack damage.
Nice. So we've got 20 damage there as you unerringly shoot down from the ceiling and at this very well lit figure. And the arrow lodges into their shoulder. And they recoil in pain, their legs sort of skittering slightly against the stone floor. Anything with your bonus?
No.
Rodri, you, as it is your time to act, you see the acolyte sort of that was next to the downed one that seemed to revive them reach for their knife and seem to be reaching for the downed fellow.
Yeah. How does the one who has the one that was the one in white, how do they look right now?
Honestly, all but the one closest to the door that is still alive, all look a little bit rough.
Okay. I'll begin by sending my spiritual mace over then, and I'm gonna try and club Whitey Merc Roberson.
Okay.
Hiya. That's a 19 to hit.
Oh, wow. Is that 9 damage?
That is 9 force damage. We finally got a better roll.
Wow.
So as they are looking down at their friend, the mace just swings around and catches them in the chin and just snaps their neck back, and they fall backwards onto the floor, lifeless.
And then I'm now also painfully aware that there's 4 demons standing right next to me and a Drider.
You're in the heat of the action.
I will just It's strictly undead, right? That doesn't do any good. Yeah, I think now might be the time for Druidcraft. Just
Tell us
kidding.
what the weather is.
I'll turn the glass eye onto the Drider. And ask for a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay. I am getting 14.
DC is 16.
As dexterous as I was hoping.
No, you would think with that many legs. That's not bad, roll. There you go, one of the dice. So yeah, just another burst of radiant light. It's beautiful.
So yeah, the radiant light burns into the creature, and it looks worried now, worried and hurt.
I know. I'll just I was gonna say, you know, it's probably a bit late for you since you've become an abomination, but maybe your friends over there can still return to the Seldarine ways. That's what I thought. Done.
All right. The Acolyte is going to... Oh boy, let's see if it can survive these attacks of opportunity.
Oof.
Oh, that's maybe not. Okay, and then one more. If this one hits, it does not. So the 2 demons at the front of the table swing. Oh, actually, there's one more. One at the back of the table will swing as well. Oh, that one hits. Needs to be small. Needs to be small. It's not small. So he runs around the front of the altar, trying to duck under the Dretch's claws, but they're oozing bodies just leap out towards him and rake him full of claw marks, and he drops unconscious. These guys are quite pathetic. The other one, seeing them distracted though, runs around himself, and he is going to attempt... Okay, he succeeds. He reaches down to the figure on the floor's arm, slices it off, and places the hand onto the table. Completing the circle, and you all see a pulse of darkness begin to emanate behind the altar. The Drider says, "Yes, and will cast darkness upon the altar.
Ooh.
And Rodri and Chausseur, you're plunged into darkness. The other two of you just see this wave of darkness emanate out of the Dryada and engulf the altar as the demons. Let's see what they decide to swarm. Okay, they decide to swarm onto the acolyte that had evaded them there, and if we can get a couple of hits here, yep, that's 2 hits. They jump upon him and begin to bite at his flesh and chunk out tears of his flesh, and he falls screaming to the floor, surrounded by demons. Actually, none of you see that, but you hear the sound of chewing and screaming and tearing flesh. Isabel.
Yikes.
So she's like, oh dear. The Drider, is the Drider visible?
Yes.
Okay. Would she know if the darkness spell is connected to concentration, or if it's like a one and done?
You kind of look and see that it appears to be holding focus in that direction. It's not. It's still. It's having to. Its hand is upraised, and its gaze lingers in that direction. So it appears it is concentrating.
So she's gonna casually walk and step around this column and utter, like, I would appreciate if you stop that, and holds both her hands up and fires 2 eldritch blasts
All right.
simultaneously at her. Do. Oop. Oh, I gotta roll. Hold on. They are both going. Move. Sorry. 115 and. Oh,
Well, that's 2 separate rolls there.
yeah. Sorry.
Is there anything? There should be stuff added to that, though, right?
I think it's +5.
So the 20 will hit,
Yeah.
and it will do 1d10 or 2d10. 1d10, right?
I think it's a.
Yeah, I think it's 10.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Rolled under 10, so we'll take it.
Oh,
So we can't take that.
Okay. There we go.
And-
We'll go with 10 then.
just to be sure, she might have something that boosts that.
Yeah, beam of eldritch energy hits
Okay.
out. I'm gonna roll
Yeah.
a concentration check. Oh,
Well, just for the record, the damage is 13 with agonizing blast. She adds her charisma
Okay.
modifier to the damage with Eldritch Blast.
nice. That will not affect his concentration check, but it does do the extra damage. And
We should add 1 to
is
the
on that
check, right?
slightly. Oh wow. It's because it's a Constitution save. It depends on his Constitution.
Oh.
And he's got decent, but I rolled a natural 5, and with that, darkness drops, and you all see behind the altar the swirling patterns continue to emanate as the focus of the seemingly from the hands displayed there still seems to be pushing some power through, and a dark cloud is forming. And that was Isabel, right?
Yeah, she walks back casually to her bloody ring on the floor, stands back in it.
Brian, as you go to act, you see that circle of hands on the table begin to glow, and a dark cloud forms, and a figure seems to be emerging just slowly at the moment from this seeming portal or whatever it happens to be beyond the altar. What would you like to do?
I think we're gonna die. We should run.
It is just at the moment. It is just a a face, large, gaunt face, almost skeletal, but seemingly somewhat Drea-like too, with hair that flows back. But it's just really the tip of the face that pushes through. The portal is still small and sort of growing, but is still quite small at the moment. But it seems to be straining against it. It can't fit its body through yet.
There's still a couple guys who are.
The demons are. The demons. No, all of the only elf that is alive is the spider elf. The others are all dead. I guess I can get rid of them. And there are the demons have swarmed on top of them and are chowing down on the dead bodies.
I will cast Thunder Wave at the spider.
Okay, go for it. Oh, is it a save? Right.
Yeah, Constitution.
Oh, he rolled a 21, so it's just going to be half damage.
Okay.
Oh,
That's not bad.
still
Is
good
that
damage, yeah.
6 damage. So yeah, the force of the spell blasts into him, and him or her, very hard to tell, and they do stagger backwards, definitely hurt, but more excited than they were a moment ago at the possibilities unfolding before them. But they are taking punishment for sure. Any other?
Would I know if Chaucer has used his inspiration?
Yeah, you would feel it, and he doesn't seem to have yet.
Okay. Then we're good with that. So I don't really have any bonus actions.
Okay.
So I
Do you want to move at all?
That's my turn.
Are you happy there?
I guess I could try to get a little bit closer. If I'm here, am I within range of getting hit from our spider friend?
Yeah, you're in range of getting hit for sure.
How about? Oh, I'm going into the demons then, aren't I?
You're sounding
Yes, you
kind of
might-
quiet, Angie.
You might encourage their wrath.
Okay. I will just go here.
Okay.
If I can get this to move. Like, no. Okay. Ugh. Oh my god, it's so laggy. Okay, there we go.
So, sir, you see the hands laid in the circle, blood still trickling from the stumps, and beyond it, I guess underneath you, a portal just beginning to open with a large face straining at it, a large gaunt face. What would you like to do?
He says, "What do we do?" And he's going to take a guess, and he's going to fall from the ceiling to the altar.
Mm-hmm.
And try to twist mid-flight, and upon landing, smack these hands off the altar.
Okay. As you fall, a tendril of what seems to be long hair snakes out from the portal and attempts to hit you. That's going to be a 24.
Just hits.
and you're going to take 9 necrotic damage as this hair grips onto you. Roll me a dexterity save. Sort of dripping with poisonous ichor, and seems to have a life of its own.
I would like to use my inspiration.
Yeah, go for it.
Ooh.
So initial 13 with a +5, 18.
Okay, good time for inspiration because that saved you there. The hair attempts to, as it lashes out at you, attempts to wrap around you and contain you, but you are able to, taking the inspiration of just remembering Brian doing his karaoke, you take inspiration from that and wiggle free of the hair, manage to land on the altar and kick away the hands, and the drider behind you hisses no, and you see that the portal, you actually managed to kick you just, tell you what, roll me a d4.
Okay, 3.
You kick 3 of the hands off the altar in one sweep of your foot, and you see the portal begin to press in on the face. The hair snakes back within it, and you see the face struggling, and the drider seems to be angrily reacting too. Anything else? I'll take it that the kick was an action.
If that was a move, action, bonus, and no, that's it.
Okay, Rodri, you see this all unfold before you.
Looking over at the portal, would Rodri know if that's something that could be dispelled using something, for instance, like Dispel Magic?
Roll me an Arcana check.
16.
16. You get the sense that this was somewhat of a magical rite, so put Dispel up for me in the chat if you can.
No memento. There we go.
Okay. You rolled pretty well. So you sense that it would be possible, but this spell is a strong spell. So
Okay.
you don't know if it would automatically do away with it, but it would certainly have the potential to be affected.
Okay, I'm going to ponder that while I have my holy mace. I'm going to have it come down and try and splat the hand that's left on the altar.
Okay.
Gallagher style.
Roll an attack.
That's a natural 20.
You so as you ponder the nature of the magic of this portal, you absentmindedly have the mace swing down, and the hand is weirdly unable to really dodge out of the way. You obliterate it. As Chaucer is kicking away the other 3 hands, he is just covered in hand material as it ceases to resemble its shape anymore, and a strange whistling sound emanates around the portal as it seems to close in on itself. The face just poking out one last time and gnashing towards Chaucer pointlessly before it is sucked back within. It appears you may have disrupted the ritual.
Excellent. I'm going to stop worrying about Dispel Magic at this time.
That was a bonus action, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have the Drider behind you and then 4 demons just hanging out, chewing acolyte in front of you.
I'm going to just turn back to Isabel and say, if you stop thinking about these, do they go away, or are they just going to rip me to shreds? And I'll assume I can't get an answer right now and just try to have the symbol of Labelis Enarath peer into the soul of the Dryder next to me once more.
Alrighty. Is that Sacred Flame?
Yes, sorry.
That's okay. Oh, I got a 17 plus. What kind of save is it?
Dex. Wisdom, Dex.
Oh, adds 20 then, I think.
One of those.
But this time
It
it
is
finally
Dex.
resists inspiration and madness across its features.
I'm just gonna stay there. For now. Nowhere is safe. Staying is bad, leaving is worse.
Yeah.
So, I'll stay. That's me done.
Alrighty. Sorry, I was just having a think there. One last desperate look around. It just hisses at all of you. And it is going to scuttle onto the ceiling and attempt to scuttle away.
Can I swing at it?
That's going to be... Oh, go for it.
Oh,
You would get the chance. You would probably be the only one.
I am holding the glass eyeball, so all I can really do is punch,
Punch.
which isn't great.
Would Isabel take any kind of attack of opportunity, or would she just get out of the way? It scuttles across the ceiling, and it looks like it's trying to get out the door.
Does it actually make it over and past her?
Yeah, it's dashing.
I mean, I would consider it your average-looking spider, hardly dashing. She would definitely, if she could reach it, she would swing at it.
Yeah, it would have to come down a little to get out the door, so she could. As Rodri punches it in the punches one of its legs out from it, but it takes the damage, but it has 7 more doing work.
So I assume that she would actually just be holding this dagger going into like a threatening situation.
Gonna stab at it.
Yeah. And that
try and stab
is
into its hide.
a 15 to hit.
The dagger just skims off the armor-plated body of the spider as she just attempts to flail at it as it goes by. It scuttles out of the door. Is she concentrating on the demons, or are they just here for the...
She is concentrating on her turn.
Would she like to hold them because it is their turn next?
She would very much like to smile at Rodri and say, well, our time here was fun. Must do this again. And then drop concentration.
They one moment there devour. It's a disgusting picture of them pulling parts off the drow in front of them and stuffing them in their mouths. The next moment, just the corpses of the acolytes are left. Let me ask at this stage, does anybody want to give chase to the Dryder that has left the temple?
I mean, my assumption is that there's nothing I can really do to catch up anyway.
Isabel would at least step outside and attempt to locate it, and she would try to kill it, and then Chaussier would also take because he was standing still. No, he did drop.
Yeah.
He would still run outside to just try to keep an eye on it. But definitely,
Okay.
if Isabella gets the opportunity, she's going to attempt to take it out.
Yeah, she could certainly go for it.
So she would, head outside, to see where it was, and in the interest of really trying to take this thing down. How far away is she from it?
She is actually. It does only just get out the door, so she is the first to react and is able to. She's as close as she wants to be.
Oh, I got two big choices here. She is going to go for the witch bolt.
Okay.
So she outstretches her hands, both of them like hands open, and then she both of her hands are pointing towards the Drider, and then she kind of clenches them together, at the same time, and crackling purple energy, like tethers from her to it, and that is level 3. It didn't do it. Okay, so we're just gonna do natural 1.
Well, she attempts to hit that witch bolt into it, but it's in its more natural dark environment now, and despite the proximity, the bolt goes astray. The Drider just looks back, hisses once more, and will scuttle off back the rock face, just scuttling through the snow out into the darkness, going pretty fast beyond sight. Leaving the 4 of you in the horribly defiled temple. It does seem that you have averted a crisis here.
Whew. Well, that was a close one.
Never a dull moment with you.
Roderick is sort of breathing a bit heavily. I was a little too close, I think.
That was, but we performed so well.
Brian nods in agreement, enthusiastically.
Also, I could do with a little bit less of this on me. And he's picking hand bits off of him.
It was a necessary evil, I'm afraid.
Oh, I am most appreciative.
Where are the other ones? And I'll just sort of like casually send the mace over and just keep splatting over and over and over again until they're all squished.
Josura is absolutely showered in hand.
It's raining hands.
As you are all able to get your bearings, take time to make sure that the area is safe. You do go and check the other buildings. Firstly, the oratory, where you find bound up 5 more quite elderly and quite confused elves. They apparently were taken by surprise. They watched over the temple in its, I think it would be fair to say, later years of usage. It has fallen somewhat into disrepair, but they still honor their god. But were each taken by surprise and stowed here. They know very little of what happened. You're able to fill them in, and they are quite shaken by the news, and ask if you have seen a sixth of their number.
Ooh. Unfortunately, I think we have seen your colleague. And I'll hold out the symbol.
They immediately understand the ramifications, and one of them, elf with long silver flowing hair, holds it in his hand, bares his head, and will hand it back to you. Just say, "You honored his life. You saved our temple. Please hold on to this as a token of our appreciation. Use it to banish this darkness again wherever you come across it."
Just sort of nod solemnly.
They then reassure you that they will keep an eye out in the future for such things and try and set up wards in the future to keep these creatures out. But now they know of this ritual, they will know when to be on their guard most. And 4 of you are able to take a rest and head on back into town to collect your reward for a job done. We will finish up there.
Yeah.
You actually did a one shot.
I mean, kind of.
How much is our reward? Because I currently only have like 15 gold pieces.
Oh. I can fill that in later if you like. I can fill in post stuff from this.
One thing I will say that if the priests don't have it, which they might, Rodri would make it very important to get 25 gold's worth of powdered silver to cast ceremony to purge.
They would have the necessary ingredients and they would offer it to you if you wish to carry that out.
Yeah, and I mean I'd probably have all of us kind of do it as a combined ritual because that's cute. So I'd sort of stand in as the sixth and just purge the defiled ground and make it holy again.
Be a good idea. The 4 of them help you out with that, and one that looks like they're probably only 250 heads to the storage shed and gets a broom and begins trying to sweep up the
Bits.
the remains of the acolytes. He's the youngest, so he has to do all of the
Yeah.
Yeah, good work, everybody. Apologies for the time. It's always so hard. It's so hard to fit stuff into 2 hours.
Yeah. But man, that was fun. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way you did the kind of like flashback sequence and
Yeah, just trying to
sort
find
of
new
dole
ways
out
to do stuff for
information.
the Dales, because you can kind of mix it up, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that could be kind of a cool way of changing things up from the norm of doing things in order. You guys did a really good job of, like, considering I just sort of threw you in there with no information, of not being too worried about that, and kind of going with the flow.
That was a blast. That was an eldritch blast.
Eldritch blast.
Yeah.
Run
Well,
to the hill.
no, you're not running for your lives.
Run for your life.
That is a
Sorry.
good song.
It's such a great song.